Welcome to Sherman Castle. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal if you do not know me yet, and this is my home. We just recently bought a castle. We say castle because it truly does, in our opinion, look like a castle. A few people from the UK have told us it looks more like a manor home, which does make sense because we will get into some history. But I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys. I'm sorry if the audio is bad and it's probably echoey. I don't have a mic and I am just filming with my phone camera. My other camera was supposed to be here and unfortunately it is not. I do not know what happened. It says not going to be here until like next week. So we got to do what we got to do, right? But I wanted to get something out to you guys. I may redo this video in the future, but who knows? I may just be okay with it as it is. Anyways, I did want to go into a couple things as to why we decided to buy this house and the process that led up to it and a little bit of the history. So this will be a multi-part series. And I honestly, like, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but like, I am so excited about this and this new chapter in life. You have no idea. So let's get into it. Okay, so I want to start with a little bit of backstory about how we even got this house, because that I feel like is the main question everybody asks us is like, how did you even find this? Like, what is going on? A little bit of backstory. We've been looking for a bigger home for a while. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. I don't even know where he is. He's somewhere back here. He's right there. But we've been looking for a home for a while. We did own a home and we outgrew it. My husband, if you guys do not know, is Brian, and he also does YouTube. He had no designated office space. We did have like a semi-office, but it just was not working. Our kids were sharing bedrooms, and we were just looking to expand our home. We didn't know to this extent, but we wanted to extend our home. We went over the options of building onto the home that we currently have, because truthfully, we redid it from the ground up. Everything in that home was new that we redid. We put 7-8 years of love into that house to make it what it was. And then we thought, let's just find, another house. Let's see if there's anything. We looked for a while. There was nothing. And then we found this beautiful Tudor home and we loved it. I loved it. I was like, this is my dream home. This is it. Like, I've never seen something so amazing. It was old and it had so much character to it. I loved it. Like, I loved it. It had like the cul-de-sac driveway. And when I was growing up, I actually was like, if you had a cul-de-sac driveway, I was like, you are rich. You made it in life if you had a cul-de-sac driveway. Your house could literally be on stilts, but if you had a cul-de-sac driveway, I was like, that's amazing. So this house had everything that we wanted in it, except an office and a couple of little quirky things. But in the moment, we didn't even care about that. We did put an offer in and he did accept it, right? So we were like, this is amazing. Everything is going to plan. God wanted us to have this house, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward a couple weeks and he disappears, the guy who's selling this house. Unfortunately, nobody can get a hold of him, not even his real estate agent, who apparently was also his friend. So that was kind of weird. And that night I sat down and I said, I was praying and I said, God, if this is not meant for us, please make it abundantly obvious, because I do feel like I struggle with like, is this the right decision or is this not? And I sat there and I said, like, if this is where we're supposed to be, please make it easy. If it's not where we're supposed to be, please make it abundantly clear. The next day, they took all of his stuff off of the market, and even the real estate company was like, we are not working with him anymore. He had a full price offer and he accepted it and he is gone. This is it. Like, we're done. And we took that as our sign. So we put that house, and I just compared every single house that we've seen after that to this one house. I even wrote the gentleman a letter and I said, hey, in the future, if you're ever looking to sell, please contact us. We would love to talk to you. And I was waiting to hear back, realistically. After that, I had asked my real estate agent if we could see this house that we're in right now. This house had been put on the market and it was quite expensive, and it was not in our price range nor our pre-approval or anything. But she said, if there's ever a house even out of your pre-approval, just let me know and we'll go see it. You never know. So I had asked her and she said, no, like you are like hundreds of thousands less. Like, no, no, no. And then I was like, oh, okay, no problem. I was just nosy. I just really wanted to see, if I'm being 100% honest. I was like, I just wanted to see. I want to see the inside. And because the photos weren't very good. So we went about our business. She went on vacation. We're just, we're like, you know what? Maybe it's not meant for us to move. Like, maybe it's just not our time. Like, whatever. And then my real estate agent comes back from vacation, and she says, did you want to still go see the house? Like, just random. That was like the first message she sent me. And I was just like, yeah, I do. Yep. Sign me up. And so she said, okay, let me see what I can do. At this point, it had been on the market for quite a while. And so she had messaged me. She's like, is there any way you could do XYZ? So we're kind of like trying to get all this paperwork together. And they agree to let us see the house. So we're like, okay, cool. They send over a report, and they're basically like, like, read this report before you even go see the house. So then I'm like, oh no, like, what is wrong with this house that they want us to see this report before we go into it, right? So I didn't know the backstory. I knew nothing about this house. Obviously now it all makes sense, but in the moment I was kind of, ugh. And the report basically said there's broken windows, and there's a leak in this room. The toilet doesn't work. These lights don't work. This doesn't work. That's not what. And I'm telling you, like, this list was so long that I tried to convince Brian, and so did our real estate agent, tried to convince Brian, like, this house is not even worth stepping foot into. Like, do not even waste your time. And Brian was like, we just want to go see it. Like, what's the big deal? Like, come on. And he kept like pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And him and the real estate agent actually kind of got in like a little like like back and forth on the phone, because she was just like, this is just kind of a waste of time for you guys. Like, and I agreed with her at the time. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I agreed with her. And Brian was like, no, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. And so we did. We came, we saw the home. We were walked through actually by the previous owners. At the time, I did not know they were the previous owners. I thought they were just the caretakers of the house, because the owner does not live in the United States. And we're walking around, and I'm noticing this. I'm like, okay, the plaster's cracked here. This is the paint is peeling. There's obviously a leak here. There's, this, and I'm mentally taking this in and also vocally saying it as we're walking through. And I kind of just said, like, I don't think I was playing hardball. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was playing hardball, and I was like, I don't think that it's worth it. I don't think it's worth what you want for it. And the gentleman that was showing us around, he had put a lot of love and care into this house. I did not know at the time, and I felt like a jerk after, once I said it. Okay, like, I felt like a jerk. And I was like, there's so much wrong with it, like, blah blah blah. And then I said, we'll think about it. And me and Brian and the rest, we're like, we'll think about it, and then we'll go home. And sorry, my kids are playing outside, so if you hear anything, they're running around literally right here. So I don't know where I was, because my children were screaming, and I got distracted. But we went home, we thought about it, and then we put in a very, very, very low offer. And we said, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Like, they're going to say no anyways. Who cares? It was cool just to walk around it. Like, we were nonchalant about this. We did not think that they were going to accept it at all. Like, at all. And then they came back and they said, hey, can you do, 25,000 more? Like, just so we can cover X fee, that we have to pay, blah, blah, blah. And we said, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. And they said, oh yeah, and one contingency. And we're like, oh no. And they were like, you have to take every single thing in that house. And we were like, oh my gosh, twist our arm right now. Oh no. Yes, of course. Of course, we will take everything in the house. We don't have 11,000 square foot worth of furniture. We have 1,500 square foot worth of furniture, if I'm being honest. So we said yes. And as the process went on for the closing, I mean, I can't get into everything. Maybe I will at some point. I'll have Brian sit down with me and we can both go through it. But there were things that I would sit there and I would pray at night, and I would say, if this is meant to be, make it easy. When I'm telling you, it was so easy until the end, but that was just like, it was hard, and then it got fixed. It was hard, and then it got fixed, like, immediately. And it was things that, like, there were things that happened 2 years ago that I was so distraught by, and I was so upset by, and I was like, why is this happening right now? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to us? What did we do? Like, how do we fix it? Like, blah, blah, blah. No idea, right? And then 2 years later, here we are. And if that specific situation never happened, we would have never gotten this house. If there was a situation 6 months ago that had happened, we would have never gotten this house. Like, one story I will tell you, because Brian did tell it on his channel, is he had his dream car. Okay. He had his dream car and it just sat in the driveway. Honestly, it just sat in the driveway, but it was his dream car and he worked so hard to get that car, right? So he calls me. I was at an estate sale one day and he calls me and he said, Crystal, like, I don't know what it was. And I think it was God. He woke me up literally in the middle of the night and told me I had to sell the car. I had to sell the car. And I said, that's your dream car. What are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make sense. I was very confused. And he said, Crystal, I have to sell the car. And I said, okay, like, you do what you think you need to do. And I support you, whatever. He went that day. We thought it was going to be so hard to sell this car. They bought it that day within like 2 hours. They were just like, yeah, no, we want that car. And like, it was gone. Come to find out the very next day, I believe it was the very next day. I could be wrong on timing, but it was very shortly after. The guy that we're working with to get the loan for the house, he goes, yeah, you're getting the loan because you sold the car. Like, if he did not do that, we would have not gotten the house. Like, those type of things, like things that were so unexplainable, it was crazy. So we ended up going. I know I'm like taking so long just on this part, but it's so mind-blowing. There's so many details, and I just want you guys to truly understand like how amazing and divine I feel like this house was for us. It was just something that I can't even explain in words. Like, that's why I'm trying to explain every detail, and maybe you'll get what I'm feeling because I can't explain it. But yeah, we ended up closing on the house, and we ended up moving in. Well, starting to move our stuff over that day. And we have a lot of work to do. The house needs a lot of work. I know I had said before that report that was talking about leaks and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's true. All of it was true. It was not to the extent of as bad as they were saying. Like, some of the windows, these are original windows, and some of them have cracks, and that happens, but they also were very easy fixes because they were single pane. I know some people will say heating, this and that, and blah, blah. Yes, I totally understand. It is a lot. It is a big house and all of those things. I will get to those in the future. And when we get our bill, I will cry with you and you can cry with me. Okay. Deal. Okay. But I did want to also get into the history of the home. The history of this home is, to me, magical. This house is one of a kind. I've never seen another house like this in New York, at least like upstate, central, northern, western, like anything like that. Maybe down towards the city, but definitely not up here. So the owner that built this home, his name was Lee Jeffries, and he was the heir to the Domino sugar fortune. His mother had passed when he was young and left him that fortune. He was an only child, and when he grew up, he married a woman who was a hotel heiress, and she wanted to stay near her family. So he said, okay, that's fine. We have mansions in New York City and Manhattan, but okay. They got married and went to Europe for 2 years after they got married. And there they had a couple children, and he studied art because Lee loved art. He was an art, as everything that I've read, he was an artist first and a businessman second. And he loved his art. So he studied art in Europe for 2 years after they had gotten married. They had a couple children, and then they came back and started building this home. This home was a replica of a home that this is my understanding, that this home was a replica of a home that he's seen in the United Kingdom when he was there, and he wanted it. So he told them, please make this home in New York. And they basically put the plans together so that he could remake this home in New York. So you will see a lot of European features in this house. So a lot of times the Victorian houses that I found, they do not have the European features still. Like, yes, they are Victorian and they have the Victorian, details and stuff like that, but this has very European features, even down to the windows. The windows open out. So if you're from the United States, windows usually open up. Even Victorian windows, they did have like a pulley system and they opened up. But this home opens out, which is very European. And a lot of it, like this room is a very Tudor style room. It has a lot of European influence because he loved Europe. That is just the beginning of his story, though, and their story. I don't want to get into too much because this video is probably already long. So if you will join me next time that you come back, and I will tell you more about Lee Jeffries and his amazing life and this amazing house. I hope you guys had a good time listening to me ramble and stuttering and starting over, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.